YouTube family, what's good? Dub Washington here. And if you new to the channel, first and foremost, I do two things. One, I ensure that everybody eats. And secondly, I make the banks compete to lend you money. And on today's masterclass, I will be breaking down how to strategically apply for credit cards, lines of credit, any credit product to maximize your overall approved funding amounts. Now, watch until the end, family, because you know I always got something special for you. Watch until the end so I can in-depth break down my 3590 method and where I use to leverage currently over 2.3 million in funding, and we're looking to close out 2025 with over 3 million that I have funded myself. And a major salute to my newest mentee, Memory Doc, aka James Lewis. He has just surpassed over 1 million in personal and business funding. This is my fourth mentee to do that. So shout out to you, brother, for executing. And he's been with me since 2022. So a $5,000 investment 3 years later yielded you the information for you to go and get access to your first 7 figures in funding. Let's make it 2 by the end of 2025, family. Let's get it. All right. So a lot of the information that I'm going to break down today, if you run it correctly, if you run it strategically, it has been proven to get you anywhere from 500,000 to over 1 million in funding in around 12 to 18 months. Now, I got to tell you this, family. Nothing that I say on this channel is financial advice. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only, and the results will vary based on many credit factors such as debt to income ratio, the comparables that you have on your profile, your deposit relationship, your income, your revenue. All of these things are going to be based upon several factors to see if you can get that 7 figures in funding. But listen, family, I'm here to give you the sequence. I'm here to give you the steps. I'm here to give you the strategy. So say your grace and let's eat. Let's jump into it. Now, it is highly recommended to build out a deposit relationship with each institution to increase your overall approval amount. And this is assuming that you have the correct profile to get access to capital. Now, deposit relationship. I speak about this a lot. Your deposit relationship is critical to your internal bank rating. And once again, anywhere from 10,000 to 39,999 will give you an internal bank rating of a low 5. This is where we want to position ourselves whenever we're going for capital. So it's just a rule of thumb to have at least $10,000 sitting in the savings account that you've built up over a 90-day period. Your internal bank rating is your average daily balance over the past 90 days. Do not let this go over your head. We do not want to make a large deposit at one time and then let that account sit with no other activity, because now the account, checking account, savings account, etc., will become a dormant account. We don't want that, family, right? So the best way to build out your internal bank rating is to have increased consistent deposits. A rule of thumb is to do it this way. If you want to get to that $10,000 low 5 internal bank rating score over a 90-day period, you could start off with $500 a week for the first month. For week 1 through 4, $500 deposits continuously for 4 weeks straight. And then month 2, we're going to go $1,000 for 4 weeks straight. And then to close out that deposit relationship, we now want to deposit anywhere from $1,250 to $1,300 for the entire final month. Now, this is going to get you right around $10,000 into that checking account before we apply for anything. Now, it's no guarantee what the banks will approve you for, but typically they'll approve you for the amount that you have in your checking account, if not more, especially if you have the comparables in which I teach you all of the time. So remember, we want quality comparables. We don't care about the quantity on the tier 3 bank accounts. We want quality comparables to ensure that we get access to large limits on the personal and the business side. Now, secured loans are another great internal builder, and it's used to build out with multiple credit unions. A lot of people look at the pledge loan, certificate pledge, shared secured loan, and they only think that Navy Federal offers this particular product. That's not the case. You got hundreds and hundreds of credit unions that is going to offer this product to help you build internally. Now, it's also a great comparable to build your personal profile. Remember, I'll be standing at the mountaintop by myself screaming, we do not add credit builders to our profiles. We do not add net 30s to our business credit profiles. We want to add quality comparables because once again, the underwriters are judging us based on the quality of accounts that we have on our profile. So we don't want to be caught up into adding tier 3 accounts, credit builders, etc. Like, that's not what we're doing here, family. Now, you can leverage as little as $1,000, upwards of $500,000 if you have the liquidity to start building with these credit unions. Remember, the shared secured loan is where we go have money sitting in our savings account. We borrow against it to add that comparable to our profile. And once the comparable is added to our profile, we want to pay anywhere from 90 to 95% of the loan off. Therefore, it has a small balance left, and then we can build out longevity with this account. You don't want to pay it off in 6 months. You don't want to pay it off in a year. You want to extend it as long as possible because this is going to add age to your profile. Remember, family, secured loans, deposit relationships, internal bank ratings, all will go hand in hand. Now, funding strategy. That's the reason why y'all here today. The funding strategy breakdown. Now, depending on if you're going for personal or business funding, this will determine your strategy. And it's always recommended to go with banks and credit unions that offer both personal and business products, especially if those business credit cards are 0% or if the personal credit cards are 0%. This is essentially how to build out internal ratings without having to build out for an extended amount of time. So if you start on the personal side and you start with a personal checking account, then you graduate to a line of credit, to a CD account, to a personal credit card, line of credit, etc. By the time you get over to that business side, the bank or credit union in which you have been dealing with for the past 6, 12, 18 months, they now understand you as a consumer. So with all of this being said, this is how we expedite the process of building relationships. And guess what, family? You know I got to bring y'all the game. Now, one of the fastest ways for you to get access to capital in 2025 is having what the banks call staying power. You have longevity with the institution, you have history with the institution, and they understand how you like to spend money. They understand your payment trends. They understand the ebbs and flows of your business if you're on the business side. So remember, family, we want to always build with institutions to look as if we are there for the long haul. Even though, let me tell y'all, even though we are there just to build with them, get access to the capital, possibly the maximum exposure, and then we're going to another bank to get access to more capital to continue to grow our businesses. Now, it is very important to understand what bureau the bank or credit union will pull from for the applied product. Now, whenever you apply for any credit, typically the lender will issue what they call a hard inquiry. You don't want to have too many hard inquiries on your profile whenever you're applying for other institutions because this insinuates that you're thirsty for credit. Nobody want to mess with nobody while they thirsty, fam. You feel me? So whenever an institution will pull from multiple bureaus whenever you apply for a product, we typically want to stay away from these. Now, if it's on the business side, it's a completely different story because we are now able to go in, remove that inquiry because it's not tied to an active account that's reporting on our profile unless you have Capital One, TD Bank, or Discover. These are the three bureaus. These are the three banks that is going to report business credit utilization to your personal credit profile. And we stay far away from these particular issuers, right? Now, once we understand what bureau they pull from, we can now start structuring our funding sequences. This is one of the most important things that you can do once you get access to your first 100,000, once you get access to your first 200,000. Nobody ever talks about this. Set aside 15 to 20% of the overall amount funded so you can service the debt of the balances that you're carrying. You go out and get access to $100,000 in business credit. You don't have $100,000 to spend because regardless, there is a payment coming up in 30 days. So make sure you set aside service money to service the debt that you're holding, whether it's on the personal side or business side, as you are growing your personal brands or businesses. Understand, Strategically structuring your funding sequence is the difference between tens of thousands, if not six figures, whenever you are trying to secure funding. I recommend starting with 3 banks from each bureau, right? So we're going to have 3 banks from TransUnion, 3 banks from Experian, 3 banks from Equifax. Or you can go 3 credit unions from TransUnion, 3 credit unions from Equifax, or 3 credit unions from Experian. This is going to result in you having 9 banks or credit unions that you are building an internal relationship with. And the reason why we build out with multiple institutions is because they can deny you for any reason. One institution could deny you due to the quality of accounts that you have on your profile. Another one could deny you for debt to income. Another institution could deny you for having too many active new accounts, recent high balances. It's a multitude of things of why institution can deny you, even if you have the 800 credit score, even if you have a 750 credit score, you still can be denied for capital for any reason that the bank seems as risky with their risk tolerance. The list goes on and on for the multitude of things that you could be denied for whenever you're trying to go for capital. So not putting all of your eggs in one basket eliminates you from securing low limit funding rounds. And I have a dollar secret lenders list that's located in the description below. And this list will tell you where each bank's pull from so you can strategically know which ones to build with based on your strongest profile. We don't want to go to institutions that's pulling from Equifax if that's our least strongest profile. If Experian is our strongest profile, we want banks and credit unions to pull from Experian. If TransUnion is our strongest profile, we want banks and credit unions to pull from TransUnion. So make sure that you understand where the banks are pulling from, where the credit unions are pulling from before we go and start building a relationship with them. And that's what my dollar secret lenders list. Listen, family, it's only $1 for you to maximize the overall funded amount in your funding sequence. Now, family, upon understanding what bureau each bank or credit union will pull from, we now want to understand which banks will allow you to get multiple products and they only pull your credit one time. This is a major gem in the credit space that a lot of people skip over, a lot of people may not know about, but double dip banks or multi-dip banks will allow you to go and get, let's just say, a personal loan, a personal credit card, an auto loan, personal line of credit, or it could be on the business side to where you could get multiple business credit cards and they only pull your credit one time. So this is what we call the multi-dip bank. Some institutions that will offer you multiple products and only pull your credit one time. Truist, American Express, PSECU, they are all known for allowing multiple products upon only pulling your credit one time. This greatly improves the overall amount approved for in your funding sequences. For example, if you add a few double dip, multi-dip institutions, this is going to result in an additional 6 to 9 products. Now remember, family, just as a quick recap, remember we are building with 3 different institutions per bureau. So we have 3 different banks or credit unions from Experian, 3 different banks or credit unions from Equifax, 3 different banks or credit unions that are going to pull from TransUnion. But then whenever we add in the multi-dip or possibly even double dip institutions, and what happens is we're able to get access to more products, which equates to more funding. Because remember, 9 banks, assuming that you get $10,000, you now have 9 products at $90K, but we add double dip in there. Now we could add an additional $60,000 to $90,000. So listen, family, I'm going to break it down to where everybody can understand this. We're already building with 9 institutions in hopes of 9 approvals. Now, if we add 2 to 3 banks in there that offer double dips, this could potentially put us at 12 to 15 total products. Remember, 9 different institutions, 3 from TransUnion, 3 from Experian, 3 from Equifax. We add in 2 to 3 banks that could offer double dips. Now, this is going to put us at potentially 12 to 15 overall products. If each product approval is 10,000, we're looking at an additional 30 to 60,000, totaling 150,000. So guess what I got to do with y'all, family? I am going to break down a general starter funding sequence if you're starting your credit journey in 2025 and you want to execute to get your first 100,000, 200,000. After you run this beginner sequence and you go and get access to your first 50,000, 100,000, I just tell you to come back and either join me on my free masterclass, or you can come and join my lifetime mentorship where I break down everything financial literacy related, from personal credit, business credit, structure, travel hacking, bank auditing, a multitude of things, along with extra stream of income calls. We actually have about 60 plus hours of content in this course, and then you get access to bi-weekly live calls with me and my mentees to help you and hold you accountable. So if that's something that you're interested in, that link is also below in the description, or you can just text mentor to 864-721-8750. Now, family, let's jump into the starter sequence so we can get you some bread, so we can get you some funding to grow and scale your business. Now, Experian is my strongest score. I would go PSECU, Discover, and American Express. PSECU will allow you to double dip, meaning that you can go in, get access to a personal credit card totaling $10,000, a personal loan or personal line of credit totaling $10,000. You have now came out with $20,000 with one hard pull on Experian. Now we go to Discover. If you're just starting out, Discover will be a great institution to build with, as they start you off with some pretty decent limits whenever you're building out your profile. And the good thing about Discover is they are great comparable. So this is a great personal profile comparable, anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 with starting limits. To close out Experian, I would go with American Express. Now, depending on where your geolocation is at, American Express may pull Experian or they may pull TransUnion. But the good thing about this, because you're here on this channel, there's a thing called a force pull. If they are trying to pull from one institution, and they often use two, what you can now do is go and freeze your TransUnion profile and make them force pull Experian. Or if TransUnion is your strongest score, you can freeze Experian and make them force pull TransUnion. This is just a little hack for y'all on the channel. So a quick recap for your Experian funding sequence. PSECU allows you to double dip. You can get two products, anywhere from 10 to 20K a piece from them. Discover is a great personal profile comparable. American Express also offers high limit personal and business funding. And then guess what, family? Once they pull your credit one time, you do not have to worry about another hard inquiry for the duration of that relationship. So if you run this sequence just for Experian, you should come out with nothing less than about $50,000. So PSECU, we're going to double dip. Discover, we're going to get a personal credit card to start building out some quality comparables. American Express, whether you on the personal side, which is highly recommended if you don't have a relationship with them, and then you graduate to the business side. But at bare minimum, you can go and get two credit cards with American Express, and they only pull your credit one time. This will close out our Experian sequence. Now, if we are going to Equifax, and Equifax is your strongest score, we will start with Truist. Truist is multi-dip. So let's say you go in, you apply for two credit cards with Truist. They only will pull your credit one time. I've seen someone go in and get access to 4 different products, and Truist only pulled their credit one time. We're always assuming that they're going to match what we have deposited in the account. So we built that deposit relationship, and we have $10,000 at time of approval. So one inquiry, 2 products, $20,000. Now we would go to banks like Synovus. If you are in the Southeast, Synovus is a great bank. They also allow multi-dip. So if you're on the business side, Synovus is a great institution for you. And if you have 2 to 3 businesses, you can go and get funded under each one of those businesses. This is also known as multi-dip. So we go in and we leverage multiple entities to get access to capital from Synovus, and this could total anywhere from 20 to 30,000 depending on the number of businesses that you have. So now we are at 2 inquiries, 20K, plus Synovus gave us an additional 20K. So we're at $40,000, 2 inquiries on 4 products. And now the latest one on the block that everybody is going crazy over is Citizens Bank. The thing about Citizens Bank is they offer multi-entity funding and it's soft pull, meaning that you can go in, apply for a business credit card with Citizens Bank, and they do not even need to pull your credit. So now if you go and get an additional $10,000 from Citizens, we're now at $50,000 with just Equifax, and we only have 4 inquiries on our profile. So the total amount funded so far is $50,000 from Experian, $50,000 from Equifax, and now we come in with TransUnion. I recommend going to a Eline financial institution, as Eline Financial business credit cards and personal credit cards will give you 0% interest for 18 months. This will be known as our structure card. Next, we're going to go with the Apple Card. If you're not familiar with the Apple Card Play, it is very similar to the Citizens Play. We're going to go in, apply for it with our TransUnion profile open. Now, whenever we apply for it, they give us a pre-approval. We're now going to go back, lock our TransUnion profile, and then accept the card. This way, we bypass that hard inquiry. So now, with TransUnion, we are at 1 inquiry, 2 products, totaling $20,000. And if I were you, I would go and build out a relationship with Regions Bank. They also have 0% interest for 18 months on that Life Visa credit card. Now, the reason why I like 0% APR credit cards is because we can take the money or liquidate the money off of the cards, and then we can deploy that money to go and build other banking relationships. So just as a quick recap, we got 5 products from Experian for $50K. We got 4 from Equifax for $40K, and then we got 3 from TransUnion for $30,000, resulting in more than $120,000 in funding. And this is just assuming that we only get $10,000 approvals. If you have your profile structured correctly, family, you will get more than $10,000 on these approvals. Now, remember, many factors will be determined by the approval amount that you get. So the moral of the story here, family, is that we have to strategically build out these relationships and understand where they pull from to maximize our overall funding amounts. Now, I can only give you so much game in the time allotted, family. So what I want to do is invite you to my next masterclass. All I need you to do is text webinar to 864-721-8750. Just text webinar to that number and you can come and sit down with me for 2 hours while I teach you everything: personal credit structure, business credit structure, auditing the banks, funding sequence structure. A multitude of things is going to get you to that next level. Now, if you've already attended one of my master classes and you want to learn further about my mentorship program, where we discuss everything from personal credit, business credit, mindset growth, travel hacking, so much more in my mentorship, and it is a lifetime mentorship, just text mentorship to 864-721-8750. So listen, family, I just wanted to come through today, love on the people, feed you some good information to help you and your family get to that next level. And I see you on the other side. And in my words, everybody eats. Peace.